Real talk, the truth, nigga.
And it don't stop. Yeah. Mr. Real Talk, the metaphor Messiah.
Bow down to
The king of
bow
kings.
down to the king.
We talking legendary coming soon, the mixtape. Black stars.
I bring the battle to you. If we were the same size, you couldn't fit in my shoes. Bear crown for the infinite. You better check your insolence. Careers get flushed, the same toilet that you pissed in. This rap's just a piece of tiramisu. They should've kept it independent. Ask Schoolboy Q. Lay siege to your throne. You are fucking with Capone. She ain't fucking with me. She fucking one of my clones. Nasty with the similes. Monster with a metaphor. She could suck a mean one. Why you think I'm metaphor? Beat stay knocking through your ears and your spinal cord. Hating on the youth. Use a lame and a dinosaur. Fuck that. I am king to this hip hop. Trying to find a clue, you a G. Matlock, never see the day I break bread with my enemies. The mixtape out, baby, special delivery. Now that's a special delivery.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. We're kicking it off with a little bit different vibe from Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. That's King of Kings by Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. And I thought it was a good way to kick it off. Look, check it out, man. It's been a hell of a week, and it's just getting crazier. I got a huge night ahead of me, but I am here to take your questions for as long as you guys have them right here in the comments section on Twitter and, of course, on Skype. So feel free to call in on Skype at David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or, of course, our new number, 702-751-2902. Feel free to call in, get your voice heard, ask any questions that you might have in the realm of sports, wrestling, entertainment, movies, relationships, orgies, couches, interior design, antiquities, history, biblical theology, whatever it is. I may not be able to give you a good answer on it, but I'll certainly give it a fucking try. It's going to be an interesting show because I'm basically in the worst amount of pain that I've been in a very long time. Those of you who know, I'm hurt. I got hurt in Iraq. I've been medically retired for 5 years. Most of you guys know that by now. Those of you who might be new to the channel don't know that, so now you do. Your boy got hurt in Iraq, and that's completely fine. And so I do my thing, but I go through a lot of pain. I'm kind of having a downswing over the last couple of days, and it's not easy. But I figure what better way to get through it than to push through it than with my favorite people in the entire world. And that's, of course, you guys, besides my family, of course. Of course, my family, all my family, blah, 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 blah. But no, it's really good to have this outlet, so you don't know how much it means. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be an asshole. It's a very good possibility that someone's getting cussed out tonight. It's just, look, between this show and, of course, going live again once the Cubs start, which is 2:07 a.m. my time. I'll be here live for that, too. Somebody's probably going to get cussed out tonight. More than likely, especially if I'm drinking during the Cubs game, which more than likely I'm going to be because of the amount of pain that I'm in and how much it hurts just to sit up. But all that's out of the way. So let's start with an opening rant. And I got a good one. We're going to get into gimmick changes and stuff like that because it's something I do want to talk about. It's kind of one of my topics of focuses while I'm waiting for viewer questions and calls. But I want to start with something. I'm going back on the campaign. A few weeks ago, maybe it was a little more than a month ago, it's very possible. I can't really remember. I started a campaign against the horrible disease and just plague upon the world that is Vine. Vine is a plague upon humanity, and I feel that it is my job to put an end to it. I believe it is my job to eradicate the existence of Vine off the planet. I think I can accomplish that. I believe that's what I was made for. Vine sucks, plain and simple. I'm going to elaborate more on that because what good of a push would it be if I just walked around with Vine sucks fans? Now it's effective and it's directly to the point. But here's the thing. The whole point of Vine, as far as I understand it, is to make short clips that make you laugh. And unfortunately, they got half of it correct. They make a bunch of short clips, but rarely do I laugh. And the funny thing is, what I do is because sometimes I'm like, am I too hard on this stupid shit? So what I go and do is I type in best Vine compilations, and I find some good mix of Vine videos. I want to hit them all, right? So I start watching, and they're in 30-minute clips, of compilations, which means there's literally 17,542 Vines in that 30-minute clip. So I'm watching it, and in a half hour, I did not crack a smile. I'm not even exaggerating. Didn't laugh once. I couldn't, nothing. You know why? It's because these fucking people are horrible at what they do. It's like, who came up? Why? If you're going to do Vines, which I like the idea behind Vines, by the way. I like that it exists. I like that it's there. It's wonderful, and it's a lot of fun and all that. But why do the worst of Mad TV? Why don't you want to aim higher than the worst of Mad TV? Mad TV was bad even when it was good, and yet you guys, these Viners, fucking aim at the lowest, the worst. They're like, let's see, let me aim. That's what they do, and it's just absolutely horrible, and it drives me insane. It actually makes my brain go into this erratic function where I just start punching the air randomly, and I look like I'm having seizures, but the fact is, rage is coming through my body so strongly that I'm actually punching these imaginary Viners, because I want them to feel my knuckles. Now, granted, I have fat hands because I have fat everything, but if I angle it right and I get the knuckle right in the eyeball there, it hurts. Hurts like a sumbitch. So, okay. I feel better. We had to open it with a Vine rant, and I'm going to do more Vine rants, all right, until I put an end to this plague upon my generation. Until I put this sword through the heart of the Vine. Or at least, shit. No, I don't even want to change. I want to kill it. I want it to die. I want to use my flaming sword of douchebaggery and just stab him. Stab the Vine. And because it's flaming, it should kill it, because vines are plants, and plants don't like fire. It's sound logic. I can't help it. It's science. It's good logic. So there you go. There's your opening rant. And that took up 7 minutes. Pretty proud of it. So I really appreciate you guys joining me for this, man. We got so much going on. Hockey is getting into full swing, man. We're entering our second week of hockey, and that's getting exciting because the hockey is starting to get better. The games are starting to get more interesting. Of course, the NLDS and the ALDS are both done and over. The Cubs were able to close out the Cardinals in 4 games, while Toronto was able to squeak by the error-filled 7th inning of Game 5 for against Texas, and they were able to move on. And that's something I want to talk about. So now we have the ALCS and the NLCS starting. Well, the ALCS started yesterday, and not a good start for Toronto, as they got blanked. 5-0, which is a bad start. Toronto is by no means are they out of it, but I'm no longer rooting for Toronto. And I know it's going to make Terry upset that I'm not any longer rooting for Toronto, but they acted like little whiny, crying babies in that game. We're playing under protest. We hit a home run. Bat flip. Ha! What the fuck is that, man? Show a little bit of class. We're playing under protest because we didn't understand the rules. To be fair, the refs didn't know the rules either, but it took them 17 minutes, and they got the call right. So that was the best part about that whole situation. A lot of classlessness. I felt that the fans were just absolutely horrible in what they did. It was a lot of stuff. But it's over, and now Toronto is in the ALCS, which they are more than deserved for it. They earned it, absolutely. There's no question about that. Hit a huge home run. Jose Bautista, Joey Bats with a huge home run to put them up over Texas. And that was big. Texas shot themselves in the foot, and that was it. So they earned it. There's no question. I just don't like the scumbaggery that may have been involved. And I don't have a problem with bat flips in and of themselves. I like bat flips. And it's kind of cool. And that was epic. It was the most epic bat flip of all time. There's no question. The Cubs took care of business in a little bit better of a manner. I thought I'm very happy with the fact that they got through 4 games and were able to put to rest the decaying corpse of the Cardinals. And I feel bad for the Cardinals. They had a hell of a year, and the Cubs really did put it together at the right time. They ran into the right version of this Cardinal team. It was just a matter of time before the injuries and everything caught up to them, and that's what happened. And now we move on. Cubs and Mets, game 1 tonight. Going to be interesting. Matt Harvey going for the Mets. Look, the Cubs did sweep the season series with the Mets 7-0. We skunked them. But that was a different Mets team. And I understand that. Completely different Mets team. I am not looking for anything huge as far as a sweep or anything like that. That's insane. Cespedes is on this team now, and the pitching staff is healthy. It's a different team. We're going to have to take on Harvey tonight. We don't know what type of version we're going to get out of Harvey. I think that we should do well against him. It's a very big game 1, a very, very big game 1 as far as game 1s go. So I'm very excited about that. We're going to talk more about that, of course, tonight when I go live for the Cubs game. That's going to be a blast. I hope you're here for that as well. Should be a lot of fun. But let's get into a little bit of wrestling, man. Yesterday I was going to do a video. In fact, I was going to do a couple videos yesterday where I was going to talk about just basically whatever you guys wanted. I went to Twitter and I went on Facebook and I started asking for suggestions. And I got some good ones. I got a few good ones, and one in particular that I wanted to kind of get into, ruminate a bit on. So I decided to do that today. And we had one person ask about the roster, basically, in WWE. And mainly, who amongst the roster really does need a gimmick change or just something different right now the most? So, me being the insane person that I am, could not simply just answer that question. No. I had to go into everything about the roster and who's booking the roster and all of this thing. So, this is what I came up with. Right now, there's about 54 superstars on the roster, and add about another 15 divas. So not an overly huge, expansive roster to deal with. That's the first thing. But no matter how good the roster is, and I do feel there's a lot of talent in the roster and more coming up from NXT, it's the booking, the creative, that is the absolute issue. So here's something I don't normally do because I never really looked it up before. But here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tell you exactly who books these things. I'm going to tell you who's the lead writers for all the shows and who's the head writer. And that might surprise you. If you don't know who the head writer is for WWE, it might shock you. But let's start with NXT. The one person who seems to be getting the job done the best. His name is Ryan Ward. He is the lead writer for NXT. In fact, most of the times he's the only writer for NXT, and he's just overseen by Triple H, and it works well. One chief, one main chief, one Indian, one chief. Boom. Ready. Approve. Boom. It's good to go. Continuity. It's nice. Steven Guerrero is the lead writer for SmackDown. Ed Koskey is the lead writer for Raw. And overseeing all of these guys is Dave Kapoor. Now, if that name sounds familiar, like, oh, wait, Dave Kapoor, why do I know that name? Well, it's goddamn Ranjin Singh. Yes, Ranjin Singh. That Ranjin Singh. The translator for the Great Khali. Arab Bischoff. That Ranjin Singh. That's who we're talking about. Dave Kapoor. He is the head writer in WWE right now. That's the guy overseeing all of it. And that might answer a hell of a lot of questions. If he had any input in how the booking of the Great Khali went, I think we need all we need to know right there. Now, this is not going to be one of those times where I'm just going to beat up on the writers and beat up on creative, because I think we do that a lot. And I think all the low points of creative and the booking, it's been spelled out a million times. So, with all that being said, let's get to the question of who's in most need of a gimmick change. Remember, anytime that you guys want to get your voice heard and call, and you can do so on Skype, David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. Of course, you can use the new number, 702-751-2902, and I will take your calls, and we'll have a good old time. You can also place any question that you have right in the chat below as well. You can do that. It'll be good times. So, to answer the question of who needs the biggest gimmick changes or who needs something to happen to him right now, well, I got a list of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 10 people. 10 people on here that I think really do need a change. So here it is. Let's start with Adam Rose. Let's start with an easy one. Let's start with an obvious Adam Rose. Adam Rose worked as Leo Kruger. People want to see him as Leo Kruger. It worked. He's been an absolute trooper going through all these things with, Adam Rose and the potty pooper Adam Rose and all this stuff. It just doesn't work. No variation of Adam Rose, whether it be the hyper party guy or the guy who's going to poop on the party, it's just not going to work. They don't care about him. They know Leo Kruger can wrestle. They know this guy can flat out go. So why not make a very simplistic, realistic person that you can relate to? What is wrong with the idea of going back to a little bit of reality with these gimmicks? Just, letting people be who they are. I know that's a revolutionary thing, but I'm not calling for the Attitude Era, because we all know that's what happened in the Attitude Era. Wrestlers were probably able to be more themselves than ever before in the history of wrestling. But there's a balance that can be achieved. Now, you can argue that they already kind of have that in a sense. There are a lot of wrestlers who are able to just kind of be who they are. DJ Cage saying hello in the chat. What up, DJ Cage? Who I believe is the guy who actually called for this question to be answered, too. And if it was you, good job, and you're getting your question answered. But I think we're seeing that with guys like the New Day who get put into a situation where nobody really knew where it was going, and then they kind of took the reins off of them and let them be who they wanted to be, and now we're seeing really good creative things out of them. The cool thing is, in the WWE, when you do show that you can work and talk and create, you're kind of given a little bit more leeway. They give you a little bit more rope, sometimes enough just to hang yourself with. But historically, that leeway has been there. Not for everybody. Not for everybody. It's not created equal, man. It's not a democracy. Not everybody gets the same rights, and nor should they have it, because Lord knows what Roman Reigns would do. Roman Reigns is another one. Now, we talk about Adam Rose. Roman Reigns, I think he's an obvious one, and I think I'm going to not talk about a lot of the super obvious guys in the upper card, but lower on the card, we're going to talk about a lot of guys that you're probably already have in mind, and a few surprises. Roman Reigns is one for me, mainly because of the Shield. He's the only one who still dresses like he's in the Shield, uses the same music, the same entrance pattern. I mean, nothing has changed. He just has simply continued to do the exact same thing, and it doesn't work. Nobody gives a flying fornication. And why should they? Well, what does it matter? It doesn't. That's the reality of the situation. It really doesn't matter. And that's just how it's going at this point. So he needs a change, but the problem is, what change can you make? You just have him be a Samoan badass? I don't think he has the range to be anything other than himself, which arguably he is basically being himself. You can't let him talk too much more, because he's showing right now that he doesn't have the skill set to really take on more than what he's been given. But it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, and if they eventually just say, screw it, we got to make a change. I doubt it, because they seem to have found their horse, and they're just going to ride him until we turn him into fucking glue, but we'll see. Another guy for me is Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is in desperate need of rescue. His gimmick just doesn't work. I don't think it ever worked. It worked in NXT to a point, but it doesn't really work on this stage, man. People kind of like to chant Bo leave, but other than that, it's just, he's gotten out of shape in recent months. They had a weird time where he got hurt and came back, and he looked like a strange caricature of a Vietnamese man, and that was weird. He should not grow facial hair. And essentially, his character is just the exact same as Bray Wyatt's, but with a positivity, Tony Robbins type feel. But it's evil version of that, just like Roman Reigns is the Snake Charmer evil version of the backwoods cult leader. It's the same thing. So, one thing that you could do, which makes a lot of sense, if you're not going to do a feud or a gimmick change, have him feud with Bray Wyatt. Have Bo Dallas have some Bo levers. You have the damn gimmick. You might as well use it. If you're not going to change it, have him have some Bo levers. The fact that he ran around for as long as he did but never acquired any followers is part of the goddamn problem, isn't it? I mean, there was no believability for this guy. Nobody gave a shit. So Bo Dallas needs a change in the worst possible way. Probably more than anyone else on this list. Because I think that there is something there with him. And I don't think WWE wants to let him go because of how much they have invested in Bray. That's pure speculation on my part. But I think that there's something there to it. Another guy, two guys real quick. I don't have to go over too much. It's kind of obvious. Curtis Axel, Damian Sandow, very much in need of something. Damian Sandow's gimmick, just as Damian Sandow, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but he hasn't been on TV in so long he might be done. And the same could be true for Curtis Axel. I don't really understand why not use these guys in a little bit higher profile, but maybe they're just waiting for the reminiscence of the remnants, I should say, of Macho Mandow and Axelmania to die. I don't know. And they're waiting for Axel's platinum blonde dye to wash out of his stash. Darren Young, man. Darren Young is another guy. And subsequently Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil can just be Titus O'Neil. He's just big and bad and just beats the crap out of people. And that's it. There's really not a big problem with what Titus does. There is a severe issue with Darren Young. Darren Young has a problem, man. Big time problem. And it's that he's so uninteresting that nobody gives a shit about him. And I worry that the only thing interesting about Darren Young is the fact that he's a gay wrestler. How much longer before that's what they go to, because there's simply nothing else there? Another issue is I don't know how much longer WWE is going to want to deal with him, because he kind of is a cock. Every time that I've seen him in backstage interviews, like when there's anything real going on, Swerved kind of pointed a light at what type of a dick he can be. He's just one of those dudes. He takes shots on social media. I don't really understand Darren Young. I don't get why he is the way he is. But, I definitely see some type of look there that they can capitalize on. I just don't see a lot of polished talent, and that's a problem. Another one for me, which is going to be shocking to some, but very obvious to others, Dolph Ziggler. They tried to change Dolph Ziggler in the past. When he was with Vicky Guerrero, they cut his hair, turned it brown, changed his music. They did all of that for about a week because he looked like Ted DiBiase Jr. after being put into a goddamn dryer. I mean, that's what it looked like. It just didn't work. Ziggler, his look is good. Ziggler's got a fantastic look. It's flashy. It's very cool looking. But it's his attitude that needs to change. And I do believe that is coming very soon. And that's why the next person on this list is so important. Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella needs a gimmick change. This Bella thing, simply with the new direction of the Divas Revolution and some of the wrestlers that they're bringing in from the independent circuit, there's soon going to be a time when the Bellas are completely obsolete. Now, I know that they're getting to an age where that might not matter anymore. It might be time for them to be completely phased out. But if not, if Nikki wants to continue what she's doing, well, they have an opportunity, because she can make a break from Brie, who I think if Nikki does go away, Brie retires, because Brie needs the Bellas. I don't think there's anything for Brie to mind other than being a Bella. I'm not so sure about Nikki because of her situation with John Cena and because of this opportunistic type of deal that we find ourselves with Dolph Ziggler. Why not have them go off together and form a power tandem? Now, I don't know how well John Cena would like that, but it seems like they're starting to go in that way, at least with John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. We'll see if eventually they do put Nikki in that situation. They'd be stupid not to. This is an opportunity to completely change what they do. Nikki doesn't have to be an in-ring competitor. She doesn't. I'm not saying that she doesn't work as an in-ring competitor. I think she has worked very hard to get better. I give her credit for that. But if there is one person in wrestling, one female in wrestling that she needs to emulate, well, two really, one dead and one current, Sherry Martel, Scary Sherry, she needs to emulate her, and which works because Sherry was also kind of a badass in ring in her younger days. Nikki can always go back to the fact that she's the longest reigning Divas champion, so she always has that when she wants to get physical. But there's somebody working in the business right now who is the number one female non-wrestling entity. And I don't know how much she wrestles, but she is a fantastic valet. She's a leader of a faction. And of course, I'm talking about the first woman of professional wrestling, Maria Kanellis, who I believe will be coming back to WWE at some point, and she might be bringing Mike Bennett and most of the Kingdom with her. I don't know. That's speculation, but I do think she's coming probably sometime early next year. She is able to get so much heat. In fact, she outshines the people that she represents. Look, I'm not a Mike Bennett guy. I think Mike Bennett is mediocre at best, and that's just he's just not for me. She is so good, and I never thought that she could be this type of character where she's just evil, man. And they're kind of going that way. And I believe she was the inspiration for Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss, I think, watched a lot of her because what she's doing with the Kingdom is very much similar to what Alexa Bliss is doing with Blake and Murphy. And it works. It's fucking great. So if Nikki can find a way to harness that type of character and be with Dolph Ziggler, boom, they're fantastic together and they could be a hell of a power couple and really wreak havoc. And as a bonus, when John Cena comes back, we have a feud that we really care about. We're going to be invested. The lines will be blurred. Pretty cool stuff. It's what we ask for, right? So I think that's a big one. I got a couple other guys on the list. 3, as a matter of fact. Jack Swagger. I'm only putting him on this list because I just like Jack Swagger. I think Swagger has had the look. He's getting up there now in age, but he's had the look for so long to where he could have been an all-time great. He can't talk. He's got the weird swagger, speech impediment, which does, hurt him. But I think that he really could still be a viable guy in the upper mid-card. He's a fantastic wrestler. I'm talking Kurt Angle ability here. He is a fantastic wrestler, plain and simple. He's great at what he does. He's huge. He's an absolute mountain of a man. The only issue that I can find is I can't think of a gimmick that would work for him. So they kept him the All-American American. They kept him in this type of thing, the real American, because they have nothing else. And that's an issue because he is very one-dimensional. He is Jack Swagger. That's it. You put him in a friggin' singlet and you let him go. And that's it. I don't know if there's a gimmick that would work for Jack Swagger. But he needs a change. Or just a merciful release. One of the two. This one probably won't surprise anybody. The Miz. The Miz needs a change. Probably worse than anybody else on this list. He desperately needs a change. He probably won't because he gets the cheap heat because just being The Miz, it's so easy to boo this guy constantly. And he is good for media events. He is good for movies. He is good for a lot of things that the WWE likes to use him for. So I don't see his role changing, nor do I see his gimmick changing. He's had evolutions of his gimmick, but it's fundamentally stayed the same. I think The Miz works even better when he has somebody with him of some type of an assistant or apprentice, whether it be Damian Mizdow or Alex Riley. I think it's worked for him in the past. It could work for him again. But a change where they just drop this whole Miz thing altogether could be a godsend for Mike the Miz. Why not incorporate his wife, Maurice, who I've heard from him that there's a good possibility that she is not done. You bring her aboard and just start something else. I'm a big fan of the Valet, if you can't friggin' notice that. I miss the days of Valet. I think a strong woman who's not necessarily an in-ring competitor adds so much value to a wrestler, adds so much value and to an angle, because when anything's really dying down or there's something you need to add a little bit extra, getting them involved physically is always a cool thing. We always talk about Miss Elizabeth, one of the greatest valets of all time, and she's unique because when she was good and she was with the Macho Man, she didn't get involved with things unless if she was getting knocked off a ring apron. She didn't rake wrestlers' eyes to get wins for Randy, nothing like that. But when she went evil in WCW, she became a completely different person, and sexier too, because they started putting her in those tight-ass clothes. I always wanted her to do porn, and God rest, but still, I wanted to see her naked, something fierce. The thing about her was, when she flipped that switch, it was just vicious, man. And I love that. I think that it really does need to happen more often. Valets bring so much to the game. They bring so much to the table. I got one other guy. And this might be a little bit of a shock, but it probably shouldn't be. The guy I feel, number one on my list, who needs a gimmick change. I know I said that about The Miz probably more than anyone else, but when I really look at it, there's one guy that if I'm making one change within the WWE, right now, it's Seth Rollins. I am changing Seth Rollins' gimmick because it doesn't work. This title reign by Seth Rollins, other than a few nice little points, is going to go down as one of the most forgettable and anticlimactic in history. Even the fact that he held both the U.S. Championship and the World Heavyweight title at the same time is not going to save his legacy. It's been a bad title run. He hasn't had many great defenses. They've gone away from what brought him to the dance, and that's his wrestling ability, his ability to perform. Because it's been more of a focus on the cheap way out, the evolution run, with Triple H, the way he had his run. It's stuff like that. That needs to change. We need to see more out of Seth Rollins, and having him as a face, kind of kooky, maybe almost a Jeff Hardy kind of out there artistic type guy, but not overly so, I think would work quite a bit. That's just my opinion. He definitely needs a change, big time. Let's go into the chat a little bit and take a couple questions here. If I don't start getting calls and the questions dry up, I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this thing off here relatively soon. There's really no point because I only had so much to talk about. So I was really hoping on calls tonight, kids, because I am in a lot of pain. But that's okay. I understand it's Saturday. People watching college football and the likes are not a big deal there. But if you do have something to say and you want to call in, you can do so on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or 702-751-2902. But let's get into the chat because there's a few things here. Ian Sloan, Dave, do you think Neville and Cesaro could thrive as a tag team, kind of like a 2015 version of Power and Glory? I do. The fact that Cesaro basically just was in a tag team very similar with Tyson Kidd, absolutely. Cesaro can work with anybody. I loved the pairing that they had, even in the loss to Sheamus and Barrett. I thought they worked well together. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Cesaro to throw Neville all over the damn arena. This is another one of those situations where, just like it was with Kidd and Cesaro, two guys they really don't seem to know what to do with. Go ahead and put them together and see how hot they can get. Neville and Cesaro are going to get extremely hot. That's the thing. those two together are going to get white hot. So I don't see the pairing lasting very long, because that might be the flip of the switch that they really need for Cesaro or Neville, to see how hot that they'll get as a team. Because if they let them go out and perform, and they did on SmackDown, they're going to get hot. People are going to want these two because they are fantastic in the ring. Let's see what they can do. Let's see how they can go. But I'm not thinking it's going to happen, because Cesaro and now this whole convoluted angle with Stardust and Barrett's still involved. I just don't even know anymore. So it's weird. It's very strange. Alex Williams says Darren acts like a cock, has a cock, and likes cock. Well, all true. That's pretty interesting. Alex Williams, Brie was her best as a face, in my opinion. I agree with you, Alex. I think that's a really good point. She was a good face, but she was still a Bella at the end of the day. Like, her character was still the same, just not cunty. That was the only thing. I don't know. DJ Caged, am I the only one who wants a repushed and new gimmick Miz? Absolutely new gimmick. I don't know how pushed I want the Miz. I'm just not sure how far I want to see him pushed, because I think he is somewhat limited. His moveset is awfully small. He's not an uber athlete. So, I mean, there's all of that to really think about and consider when we're talking about stuff like that. We got one other question. Roger Carrillo, he's a Kurt Angle knockoff. So, okay, so it's just a comment. And that was on Jack Swagger. Yeah, he is in a lot of ways. But that's not a bad thing. He doesn't have the same intensity or intelligence or integrity as Kurt did. But, he's pretty damn good at what he does. DJ Cage says Damian Sandow needs a gimmick. That's what I said before. There we go. We got a caller. Let's take a call, man. It'll be fun. Steven Kessel, you are live, Dead on Dave. What you got?
Yo, man, is that all I get? No special introduction, man?
No, motherfucker, I already gave you a special introduction. I'm not.
Can I get at least,
look, you won the baseball league. Congratulations for you. You don't get anything else. You're lucky I even let you on my fucking show. What do you got?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, first of all, you said Vine sucks, right?
Yeah, Vine's the worst.
And you said you're going to end it.
I'm going to try.
All right, Dave. All right.
I'm going to try.
Why you always lying?
Oh, God, I hate you so much.
Oh, my God, why you lying?
I have to dump you for that. I have to dump you for that, Kessel. I have to dump you for that. Alex Williams says, when Tyson returns, do you think they'll reunite him with Cesaro, since Cesaro isn't doing much right now? Yeah, I do think there's a possibility of that, unless something changes soon, which I don't think there will. But yeah, they could, where they can keep him with Neville. They had the pairing. It seemed like a good pairing. Tyson was getting over in his own right too with this whole thing with Natty. I don't know if they want to go back to that, but luckily, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Luckily for WWE, not for Tyson. I think Tyson's done. I don't think Tyson Kidd is ever going to wrestle again. It's just the nature of the beast. He's small, and this is a serious neck injury. And it's probably not even from that exact match with Samoa Joe. It's probably something that was building up over a long time, and it finally happened. It's sad. I wish him the best. Kessel, I had to throw your ass over the top rope. Why are you coming back?
All right, I got some stuff that I really want to talk about, Dave.
All right.
I'm sorry, I just had to do it, man. Had to do it.
Okey-dokey.
All right, well, first of all, I'm glad to hear Lamar Odom is doing better.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's alive, man. It's good. I don't want to see anybody die, especially in a manner like that. I hope he fixes his shit. He's got kids. He's squandering the immense talent that he has. I love Lamar Odom as a basketball player. It's a goddamn shame when you can't control your vices, your demons, whatever the case may be. I really do hope the best for him.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Well, they say he's doing better, so that's great to hear.
He's talking, yeah. He opened his eyes and he talked a little bit, so yeah, that's a very good thing.
And have you heard that Adam Rose may have suffered a concussion in that Mexico event yesterday?
No, I haven't. I have not read that yet.
Yeah, Fandango and Adam Rose wrestling, and I guess they collided, and Adam Rose had to be taken out on a stretcher.
Oh wow, wow. No, I have not read that yet. That's sad. I hope he's okay too.
And did you see Undertaker and Kane reuniting for the Mexico?
I did see that. I did see the Undertaker and Kane reunite. The Brothers of Destruction took on Harper and Braun Strowman. Undertaker did not do a lot in the match, from what I understand. Kane carried most of it, got worked over by the young guys, and then Taker came in and hit his signature maneuvers.
So who won? Was it like a disqualification or something?
Kane Taker, I believe, won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, have you seen this commercial that the Great Khali made?
Oh no, I didn't see any reason. I heard about it, but I didn't see any necessity to watch it.
No, it's actually pretty funny. It's actually
I'm
pretty
sure it
funny
is.
to watch.
It's the Great Khali. He can't talk. I'm sure it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Real quick before I let you keep going on here for a minute. I do want to make a reference, since we were talking about sad stuff. Bear, a long time, good viewer, great viewer. He donates to the channel. Just an awesome dude. He brought something to my attention. A big YouTuber, Total Biscuit, who, if you're into YouTube, you probably know who he is. He beat cancer before, and apparently it's back and it's worse than ever. Apparently his cancer is now inoperable, and the doctors have given him 2 years to live at most. So just a shout out to Total Biscuit, and I do hope the best for him.
Yeah, hope the best for him. Yeah.
Cancer's a motherfucker, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Man, what else you got for me, Kessel?
Well, we got the big fight tonight.
Lemieux
David
and Golovkin,
Lemieux, right? Gennady Golovkin. Yep.
Who you got, man? I assume you're going to be with me on this, and I know we both think Golovkin is an absolute stud. Who do you got?
Oh yes, Golovkin. My favorite right now. I think he's ready to be that next big star. Maybe replace Floyd as the top boxer in the game right now. I think
he needs a big performance to do that tonight. It's got to be an exciting fight. He can't be what Floyd was. This can't be a dance fight. It can't be a 12-round snore fest. This has got to be an action-packed fight, which with Golovkin usually isn't a problem. So I'm expecting a lot of action. I hope Golovkin can get the job done. I'm hoping spectacular fashion to get a little bit of goddamn notoriety to the sport right now. We need something good.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Lemieux's last fight where he had 6 knockdowns or something. Yeah. That's going to make it exciting, too.
It should be a very exciting fight.
Yes.
What's your prediction?
Golovkin knockout somewhere in the middle rounds.
Ooh, really? You're going knockout, huh?
Oh yeah, that knockout streak's got to keep going.
Yeah. I'm going to go with you. I don't see this. I don't see this fight going past 8. I just don't. These guys bang, and Golovkin's an absolute monster. So that's
yeah. I mean, one body shot could end it all.
Somewhere before the 8th, I'm thinking Golovkin gets the victory. Yeah,
before 8th. Yeah, thinks that too.
What else have you got for me, Mr. Kessel?
I hear Sasha Banks says get ready for a new up down down video.
All right, man.
Yeah.
She was great on the episode of Up, Down, Down that I saw her on. I'm kind of backlogged. I haven't watched a lot of Up, Down, Down lately. There's a lot of good ones. I did watch when Stardust was on it. It was hysterical. I love that. But I've been missing it lately, so I got to catch up.
Yeah, I'm loving the Madden tournament that they're doing.
Yeah, I don't think they should be showing the entire games, though.
Yeah.
30 minutes. It's none of them really seem to be any good.
Oh yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
I would take there's not one person I couldn't beat. I haven't seen one audible on defense. Not one audible on defense. No. Who does an audible on defense? Holy shit! You got to change your coverage. It's unbelievable.
I mean, you got the Miz asking, "Where's the speed button?"
Where's the speed button? That's right.
Oh.
Miz was extra annoying during that video, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. That's why his gimmick is like my real life. If I'm playing video games, I would act like that to the person sitting next to me, man.
Yeah, we probably would not be friends.
Hey, sometimes I can switch. It's a switch on and off.
Oh, you're a switch hitter, huh? I heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, well. No, I only stay in one group.
Ah, okay, that's good. One group. I just got some exciting news. My new intro has been delivered from Fiverr. Of course, it couldn't have happened 45 minutes ago, so I could debut it before the show. But later on tonight, for baseball, when I go live for Chicago Cubs Game 1 NLCS against the Metropolitans, you will be seeing a brand new introduction video. I'm pretty excited about it. It's rather epic. And it wasn't fucking cheap either. Cocksucker guy pissed me off. Ugh.
I mean, pay for quality.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. No, you pay for misleading bullshit. That's what you do. Yeah, I got misled a little bit, but it's really cool, so I don't mind. You want to stick around with me for a few minutes there, Kessel?
Oh man, thank you for finally asking me that question. Yes, I will.
Nobody else has called in.
Okay.
There's like nobody here tonight.
I can see how many
it.
viewers you have. Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird tonight.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was waiting for that viewership to go up to 10. I was like, all right.
Yeah,
well,
usually
I'll call in.
We're in the upper teens, sometimes in the high 20s usually. This was a weird one tonight, but that's okay. I'm sure people will come back for baseball tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to get drunk as shit. Should be good. So let's go through a couple things in the chat here. Alex Williams asked, if Taker and Sean go face-to-face on Monday, I'm going to mark out a bit. I think everybody will. There's a very good possibility that they will go. At least they would be stupid not to at least do something with him in the back or something, you know? It's very rare that they're in the same place at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Get a big crowd reaction is what they need now.
Yeah, they do. They got to capitalize on Monday. They got a lot of stars. They got the Austin, Brock, friggin' podcast. You got to capitalize. Have to capitalize, man. Fuck.
And how about Austin saying that he was never scheduled for Raw?
Yeah, which I don't know if it's true. Austin lies, man. It's what he does. Austin just lies. That's all he does. He needs to show up on this Raw. Why not? What's the problem? Just come on, give a stunner to somebody. Is that so hard?
Yeah.
Let's mark out a little bit. Alex also asked, what do you think we'll do with Sean and Rick on Raw? They could do something with Sean and Rick easily, too. That's another one. DJ Cage has a question I'm not going to answer here, but name some of the best and worst WrestleManias ranked worst to best. Hells, man, that's like a 3-hour fucking conversation. It's crazy.
31 WrestleManias.
Yeah, right. Frank's Liberty. Dave, did you hear about John Cena Twitter remark about the fans and memes made about him? No, I haven't. Alex Williams comes right back, and that was fake. I don't know if I haven't heard anything about that. Are you on that story, Kessel?
No, I am not. No, not about John Cena. Except for that, I know he's going away for the reality show.
Yeah, he's going away.
Yeah.
Going away. Now he might be making a movie, too, or filming some sort of project. A fitness program, I believe.
So you think he's going to drop the title at Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, I think so, to Dolph Ziggler, yeah.
All right.
I mean, it makes it why not drop it to Ziggler, you know?
Yeah. So many people want Ziggler to succeed.
Yeah. Well, it's not even about, like, for me, it's not even about the success of Dolph Ziggler. I just think because it's so highly known and publicized with the Total Diva stuff with Ziggler and Nikki Bella, I just think there's such an opportunity here. You know, there really is.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
My boy Patty Glenn in the chat. What's up, Patty Glenn? Pumping that gas, working his ass off. I'm in pain, dude. I'm dying.
Hey, man, you know, when your Cubs win, man, you forget about all the pain, right?
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. I'm very much hoping that the Cubs are able to pull off something quite amazing, but we'll see. Make sure all you guys in chat right now, you hit the like button, subscribe, share this thing around. I think we're about going to wrap it up here shortly unless we get some more callers or more questions. I don't have a lot more to ramble on about, so I'm not going to drag this out too far. But make sure you check out tonight. I'm going to put up a link very, very soon for the live show, reaction show party thingamajig for the Chicago Cubs NLCS Game 1 against the New York Mets. Huffman will be here. I'll be here. Huffman might be here. I don't know. Should be here. I'll be here. We're going to be partying through the night. I'm going to be drinking probably, especially if the Cubs start to lose. We're going to have a good time. Hopefully Kessel will show up and bring his awesomeness with him.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe. What are your fantasy prospects looking like this week?
Well, according to the points projected, Jake Link is supposed to beat me by a few points, which is surprising. But I think I'm gonna go on a 4-game win streak. I'm gonna go.
You could. You very well could.
Yeah. Carson Palmer.
Let's look at you got a few issues here. You got a couple issues I see. Le'Veon Bell, he should have a nice game. Frank Gore, you never know, especially with the inclusion of Ahmad Bradshaw, which shouldn't affect it too much this week. But I here's your problem with Gore. New England's going to win this game by 78 points. So he might only have 3 rushing attempts.
Yeah, he might get in like a garbage time touchdown.
He might. Greg Olson, he has decent prospects against Seattle, considering what Tyler Eifert did against him last week. But this is the beginning of the end for Carolina this week. This is the beginning of coming back down to reality. A nice trip up to Seattle. This is where it starts to. The real Carolina Panthers will show up this week. They're going to get exposed. I don't even think Seattle's all that good, but they're going to be good enough to beat the brakes off the Panthers. Your flex is in trouble. I don't like Ivory in this matchup with Washington, mainly because he seems to be getting hurt every 4th touch. Green Bay defense
he runs hard.
Great play. You should be okay. You should win this game mainly because Jake doesn't pay attention to his fantasy team. So
yeah, hopefully, but those projected points scare me a little bit.
Yeah, they should. They should. I'm trying. This is my first week where I'm moving on without the help of Jamal Charles, and I'm a little bit scared here because I got lied to.
And the help of Peyton Manning.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. What has Peyton done for me? I got the highest scoring fantasy player in the game, Andy fucking Dalton. He's number 1, man. I'm good. I'm okay there. I got a couple of running backs to kind of ease the burden here, but I'm kind of hoping that Niall Davis does have some big breakaway plays in the game, even though I'm not playing him, just so he can become the starter next week. Because I don't know why this rookie, this kid that they like so much, they put ahead of Niall Davis, but he's been handcuffed to Jamal Charles for the last couple of years, and he's done a great job when Charles is going down. So I don't really understand it, but hey, Andy Reid does what Andy Reid does. I don't know.
Apparently, West resembles Jamal Charles type.
That's all I got.
Player.
Just screwed me over completely. I don't know.
Hey, yo, man, I can't wait for this Michigan State-Michigan matchup coming up in an hour.
It's college. Yeah.
It
doesn't really do nothing.
But, Michigan defense, 3 straight shutouts. Yeah. That's impressive.
It is impressive. But it's college. It's not even on my radar, I got to be honest.
Lucha Underground Season 2. I can't wait for that.
Another thing, man. It is happening, and that's great for Lucha, but ratings will continue to be terrible, and they're going to continue to lose money. It looks like they might be losing one of their biggest stars, so I don't know.
Have you heard about WWE was interested in 2 Lucha Underground stars?
Yeah, Del Rio, yeah.
No, they also said they were interested in Angelico and Prince Puma.
Oh, Puma's been a long-standing rumor. Puma with the rumor. No, Ricochet, Prince Puma, he is not going anywhere. He's got locked up to a 10-year deal with El Rey. He ain't going a fucking place. They are not letting him walk. But believe me, if WWE had a chance to get him, they would. That guy is good.
Oh yeah, he
Very
is.
good.
Hey, you know what, man? I'm going. I think I'm still gonna go with the Toronto, going to the World Series.
Really, you're taking Toronto in the ALCS? Really?
I think so. I mean, even though Edwin Encarnacion is a little banged up, they have a good offense still.
They have a great offense. They don't have a good offense.
Great, yeah.
Toronto has a great offense. Elite.
Great.
It's
Yeah.
the best offense in baseball. But here's the issue. This is what Kansas City's built for. A long series in this type of setting. Their starting pitching isn't fantastic, but it's good enough. If they get past that fifth inning, that bullpen is still good enough to be lights out against any offense. So I'm looking at it. Losing game one is a big detriment to Toronto. They needed that win, I think. I do believe that. They might be in some trouble.
You know, that Jose Bautista bat flip was like the greatest ever.
It's pretty epic, but I thought it was a scumbag move.
Well, I mean, when you take the lead, man, you got to take that moment to realize
it's not about
how.
the bat flip. It's not. It's more about the situation leading up to the bat flip. Everything that happened in that seventh inning, the playing the game under protest to that point because they fucking didn't know the rules, the crying, the whining. It was just completely sad to me. I thought it was classless. Joey Bats, who I like Jose Bautista. I love that guy. He's a veteran. It's not like a big moment should have been bat flip worthy like that and showing up a pitcher. It could have cost them more than you think. There could have been a brawl. Some people could have got ejected. You never know what's going to happen in situations like that. Somebody could have got hurt. It's just a stupid thing to do, especially when your crowd, your fans are throwing shit onto the field. I just thought it was a bad move. Put your goddamn head down and run the fucking bases. And that's just me. In that situation, that's just me.
Especially with people throwing stuff from the crowds, they could hit the front row people.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah, I like Kansas City, but I barely. And believe me, if Toronto comes and stomps them out in game 2, I'm probably gonna switch my my pick. Very possible. What's your prediction for the Cubs and Mets? And you don't have to suck up to me here. You can tell me what you really think.
Well, you know what? I think Cubs have a very good chance of winning, but because you are a Cubs fan, I really want Mets to win.
Oh, that's pretty scumbaggy of you.
Yeah, well,
that's rather scumbaggy.
When I know people, man, I got to go opposite with them.
That's fair. Hey, I respect that.
Hey, you know what? They're at home today too.
The Mets are, yeah.
Yeah. They have Matt Harvey's pitching, right?
Matt Harvey is pitching against John Lester. I'm very excited about this. I think it's a good matchup. Lester and Arrieta 1-2. It looks like Steven Matz will probably go tomorrow. Syndergaard, it could go, but probably not till game 3. The thing is, the starters for the Mets, because they had to use them in that game 5, some of the young studs have a little bit more wear on them right now than the Cubs pitching staff. I think that might be the deciding factor.
And I think overall the Cubs offense is much better than the Mets.
I think it's a little bit, I don't know about much better, but it is a little bit better. Since Cespedes showed up in a Mets uniform, they have been really good offensively. There's a hell of a damn balance to that offense. The Cubs have been really, really good offensively as of late, but as we've seen throughout the course of the season, they can get streaky. So I'm not ready to put a lot of money on the Cubs. I will put some money on the Cubs, though, if I get the right bet. But not a lot of money because I'm a Cubs fan. So I'm always thinking doom and gloom is coming.
It should come. It should come soon.
No. You know why? Because Doc Brown told us this was happening. Doc Brown told us we were going to the promised land. And God damn it, I believe Doc Brown.
I guess you got to believe him. You have to.
Hey, Kessel, I appreciate you hanging out with me for a few minutes. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go ahead and close this thing up, give last thoughts, give last chance for anybody else to call in. I appreciate you hanging with me, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
I gave you 20 minutes tonight.
Hey, man, I told you I'm one of the most entertaining people on here. I
Oh,
told
God.
you this. And just remember this, Dave. Steven rocks. Steven rocks.
Thank you, Kessel. Oh, my God. The one, the only, the enigmatic Stephen Kessel. Oh, my God. So we're getting to the point here where we've gone an hour. We've gone an hour, but we haven't had a huge viewership tonight. We haven't had a lot of callers. So I'm going to go ahead and open up last call here, folks. Calling on Skype at David Vancura, DAVID, VANCURA, or on the number 702-751-2902. Call in, get your voice heard. Keep me on the air a little bit longer, or I'm going to take a nap before the Cubs. We will be live right here. We'll call it what? We'll call it 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Maybe a little bit before. The link will be up shortly. You'll see. We're going to go live. Reaction party right here, Dead on Dave Productions. Game 1, NLCS. Cubs and Mets. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of booze involved. So I hope you guys are here for that. We're going to be rocking, taking your calls, listening to your gripes, and hopefully celebrating a big Cubs win. Hopefully. But other than that, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, man. Keep subscribing to the channel. Without your guys' support to the channel, nothing else happens, man. Nothing else happens. So continue to support the channel. You can donate in the description box below. Donate and keep things coming in. Changes, upgrades, phone number 702-751-2902. That's because of you guys and the donations. So if you're so inclined to give a tip to the copious fat man, please feel free to do so. You tip your barista, you can tip the fat man too. Other than that, thank you guys. The people who did show up in the chat tonight, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. I understand a lot of people working college football, so, their viewership wasn't huge tonight, but still, thank you guys once again, as always, for being here. It was a rough night for me. It's been a rough couple of days, so thank you guys for hanging out and kind of helping me take my mind off some of the pain. I want to say thank you to Stephen Kessel. Stephen Kessel, thank you very much, man. I left you on tonight. You did a fantastic job. I needed a friend to kind of help me get through this tonight, and you were there for me, buddy, and I appreciate that. So you guys are awesome. What can I say? My darkest moments, I have this show to cast the light, something I can just grab onto. And for you guys to continue to show up means everything in the world to me, and I mean that sincerely. That's it. Thank you. I'm going to go rest up for this Cubs game. I got a lot of shows coming up. I hope you guys are going to be with me for all of it. Should be very exciting. And, just keep supporting the channel. All the reviews, all the other things. If there's certain things you want to see in videos, don't be afraid to let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at ThatOnDaveV. Tell me what you want to see, and I will do my best to make it happen. We should have an NFL show tomorrow, the copious NFL pregame kickoff show, whatever you want to call it. That'll be here. Should be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should. There's no reason why it shouldn't. So, very excited about that. We'll see. Trey Parker, the creator of South Park's in the chat. He's going to be calling in later. Sweet. All right. So, thank you guys very much, as always. If you don't have talent, have talented friends, especially on nights like this. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious. Peace.